We're going to be going over SAT number 17. This is the April 2019 test, and we're going to start just by kind of going through the passage, and we're going to be looking at basically a little breakdown of it, pointing out any of the key details, any of the key features. It's a pretty easy passage. It's pretty straightforward. I don't think it's too challenging as far as the comprehension goes, but I'll just indicate to you maybe sort of the ways that I block it off and the ways that I understand it a little bit. So we start here with this little blurb, which honestly doesn't really tell us too much because it's the title of where it's from, but other than that, it doesn't tell us too much. Then we have this little scene here where we have the narrator bringing Cecilia the chicharrones, and basically Celia is excited, right? So we have this greeting at Celia's apartment. I would sort of group that into one little area. Then we have this paragraph here where we're sort of given a description of Celia's home, Celia's apartment. Basically how it felt and all the sort of things that are in it, the fact that there's a big accumulation of things. So that would be sort of this passage here, with this little joke at the end where she's saying mi casa es tu casa. Then they have this other scene here where sort of the narrator is describing Celia, the way that she looked when I first met her, pulled together, face full of makeup, fuchsia lips, chestnut brown chin hair, length hair. So this is like a big description of Celia. Then we have down here where Celia is sort of giving sort of like some of the ground rules, or sort of not the ground rules, but just sort of giving her the scope of where she's at, right? The community house. So she's talking about her neighbors. She's saying that you need to have heavy coats and comforters, that you need to have long underwear, that she's trying to describe what that is, and you need. She's explaining some of the neighbors. This woman, she's got her hair dyed. Looks like it has tomato dye in it. So she's just sort of going through just like some of the gossip around the area and some of the things that the narrator might need to know. Then we have down here, they enter a discussion where basically the narrator is starting to talk about Celia's sons. So the narrator is asking questions about Celia's sons. Celia explains her two different sons, sort of what they're doing. We find out that Celia knows or has at least met one of the sons, but maybe not the other. Then Celia turns to the narrator and she's asking her about her daughter. And we have sort of this scene here, which a couple questions will refer to. It's this sort of scene, almost a little awkward, where they're talking about where the daughter goes to school, and both of them seem a little reluctant to talk out loud about it. Then we get down here towards this little last paragraph where Celia is sort of comforting, it seems, sort of comforting the narrator a little bit and explaining her own experience of immigrating, and then they end with this connection, right? She put her hand on mine and other friends. So that's sort of how I would group it. Not too many different groups, but that's the sequence of events here, and so we can use that to answer questions as we go forward.